My first impressions of Auckland is that it is a very spread out city. Indeed, it's one of the largest cities in the world. First of all, I went up the Sky Tower, located right in the centre of downtown Auckland and built specifically as a tourist attraction. It's as high as the Eiffel Tower and you can get a fantastic panorama of the entire city. This is One Tree Hill. There used to be a tree on it, but Maori activists cut it down. Looking down from the tower, you'd be amazed to hear that some people actually pay to jump off it, as you'll see in a moment. There she goes. Absolutely cracking. It costs about £70. Then on a tour we went to the Winter Garden. First of all, that's the military museum, and as you can see, lots of palm trees, a nicely laid out semi-tropical garden. November in Auckland is the beginning of springtime, and there were lots of lovely flowers, as you can see. We then moved on to Ponsonby, which is a very trendy district in and around
On our right hand side, as we come down here, we'll see Jonathan Art Galleries here. Mission Bay. Alright folks, we'll keep going into Mission Bay then, okay? Is that a unanimous Mission Bay?
This is one of the more desirable areas, and as you can see, most of the houses are individually designed. These cost about £400,000 or £500,000. Not bad considering what you get in the UK. Then we moved out to the Mission Bay area along the coast, which is only a short distance from the centre of
Marina down off the left here folks. Lots of yachts, lots of boats down around there. People heading out for the day. Auckland Harbour, the Waitemata Harbour. A lot of people paddle over to Rangitoto, walk to the top of the mountain, time to look down on the crater. You can also rent rollerblades. Always have a bit of trouble getting out off the beach. You take a left and you'll come out where Docksiders is, where that gentleman just walk in there with that pushchair.
Mission Bay is quite a nice residential area and isn't really just a tourist resort. In fact, it's mainly locals there, enjoying themselves windsurfing, yachting, digging in the sand, etc. Again, just across the bay from Auckland City is the area of Devonport. Once more a nice residential area, very quiet streets, and everything nicely laid out. Plenty of space, that's what you notice, and nothing too busy.
Let's give it a
I just had to sail on one of the America's Cup yachts. You get the chance to try your hand at winching, helming, and it really is quite magnificent. The power in this machine is quite astonishing. Interestingly, it was being crewed by 3 relatively slight girls, showing that it's not really a macho sport after all. New Zealand has a good record of winning the America's Cup. We are doing 7 to 11 knots in a good force 3 to 4. That's Devonport. And that's of course the centre. Many people were out sailing and enjoying themselves, but eventually it was time to go home. The next day was a long coach trip up from Auckland through some absolutely stunning countryside reminiscent of Derbyshire by the sea, possibly, to the Bay of Islands. It was interesting to see the rural countryside and to see that most people live in single-storey houses, mainly bungalows, on their individual plots, so you don't get people rammed up close together.
Russell. Now, Russell was New Zealand's very first capital back in 1840, and its name in Māori is Kororareka, which means sweet blue penguin. Kororareka was its name in Māori, sweet blue penguin. Now, the Māori didn't call it sweet blue penguin because it was cute, but it had little whiskers and used to play with tennis balls and stuff. It was because they are sweet and yummy to eat. It was one of their main food sources before supermarkets came about, and KFC and McDonald's. So, major food source. Now, very first capital, it was the first official British colony here in New Zealand. Across the water there you'll see on that little headland a nice big grassy knoll with a big white flagpole. Okay, that is the Waitangi grounds. Now, some of you may or may not have heard of the Treaty of Waitangi. It was what we like to call the official birthplace of New Zealand.
This is the beach at Pahia. As you can see, fairly quiet, but that could be because the water is only about 15 degrees since this is only spring. Across the bay is Russell, which I went on to later by ferry. Travelled by tuk-tuk to the Waitangi Treaty Grounds. This is a war canoe holding as many as 60 or 70 warriors and carved from one tree. There is intricate carving at each end, as you saw. Nearby is the treaty grounds themselves. That's the historic spot. That's a Maori meeting house, intricate carvings again, and you can go inside, but you do have to take your shoes off as a mark of respect. Each Maori village has a meeting house like this, where the elders can meet with the others in the village. Then I went across on the ferry to Russell, which is extremely quiet, no signs of commerciality whatsoever, just lots of very old Victorian type weatherboarded houses fronting onto a very picturesque bay. This is one of the most expensive areas in New Zealand, though, and prices of houses here are quite high. The UV is astonishing, as you can see there. It's 11 plus, which means that 15 minutes of sun will burn you. you notice the absence of traffic, and also you hear a lot more bird life here and see a lot more small birds. Oh, definitely. As are in the eye.
Oh, the Coast Guard boat. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, there's our house over there, or building.
On the island?
Yeah. Over there, in the shade. Something. Wow, imagine living out here. Fabulous.
Mm.
Well worth the hype.